This is a quick tutorial on how to use Gluttony's tool. It's really quite simple. He made a UI, and that UI happens to be now built to allow for Titans Battalion games to be played easier. Before this, we played on Excel spreadsheets, and before that, we played in person with dry erase grid tiles and markers to make the boards with, like, real chess pieces. This is what we used before the dry erase grid tiles, by the way. Physical boards made out of cardboard, graph paper, and duct tape. Of course, I have repaired every single one of these that was even slightly damaged, and this one is designed to be folded for ease of storage. One of the long-term goals, of course, is to get this whole thing coded into a proper video game, at which point we will have a bit of an easier time of everything. The goal, of course, is to eventually have everything made into a game, which will allow for quick battlefield selection, easy additions, releases, 3D boards, weird shaped boards you can play on a Mobius strip or something. You know, simple stuff. But we have to get to that point first. This is what we're using for the time being for human playtesting up to the book launch. But now that we have this, it's easier. First things first, how to open it. So, in Discord, in our Titans Battalion Playtesters Discord in general chat, the third pinned message down, it could be lower depending on when you view this, is a link. Now this link brings you to the page, and then it redirects you from there immediately to your personal game. So multiple people can have this tool open at once, and they will have their own links. Now, and then, yeah, see how these two have different URLs? You can send this link to another person, and they will also be able to edit the board. Then, if you go into Setup here, you can change this number in order to change the board size. I suggest 10 so that you can at least play on the standard balance board, which is P2. Now, if you Alt-right-click, you can change the color of the cells to blue, and this will allow you to designate what part of the board is the battlefield, as well as, for example, with Palace, designate where the palace itself is. Neat little differentiation. You also have the ability to click and drag pieces on the board from here, in case you need that. For example, if you are doing something with shoguns. Let me throw a medieval up here. And you can attach to the side. Now these right here are the battalions, and if you select them, you can place them. I just placed the white pieces, so it actually thought that I would be on the bottom. Flip board here does in fact flip everything. One sec. There is no rule enforcement, so you can click and drag any piece anywhere. But it is enough of a UI that you could play, not just Titans Battalion, you can play any chess variant just about on here. And the mirror will actually swap your king and queen. Let me just throw it into the middle of the board since I'm going to fuck this up. The mirror would swap your king and queen comparably. I'm just going to wipe this by resizing it, because resizing it resets it. Yay! As you can see, it still kept everything about where it was, so that lets me immediately transpose Palace to where I would need it. I use the black squares for the border usually myself. Other important things, you can put numbers on the pieces by selecting them and then pressing the number. It goes up to 9. You notice if I try to do a double-digit number, it just swaps between. And that will allow you to keep track of health if you're playing Holy or Demon in the pre-alpha battalions, as well as if you're playing Shoguns, keep track of what pieces promoted so that you know which pieces have to demote when they are returned to your hand. What else? It has all of the core 5 in it. Notably, Palace has 3 different starting positions. This is Chinese Standard, this is Korean Standard, and this is Korean Inverse, which swaps the position of the horse and elephant in Korean Standard. Anything else have weird alternatives? No. Right-clicking will allow you to put circles and arrows. Your opponent can see these circles and arrows themselves. In the Analysis tab, you can select any previous move or board state that this was in, since you reset the size. So, notably, I can't go back to before I set the size to 12. You can also navigate this using the arrow keys, but anything you do that isn't in the main tab will actually create an additional branching line, which helps if you're doing analysis. So now I can do whatever I need to do, and it creates another branch. And it will also keep track of the arrows that you put on that previous branch, allowing you to keep track of that during your analysis if you're presenting to somebody, or just need to keep notes to yourself for ideas of what you want to explore later when you're going through a game. If you click export, it will actually give you an entire little text file of all of the moves that I've made and all of the branches. And if I just copy this and open another copy of the sheet, I can go to Import Export, click Import, Control V, so you paste it in there, and if you hit Import, now you'll notice it has all of the same moves as this one did, allowing you to share game files between everybody and more easily use this tool. Again, this is a fantastic tool. It can be used for any chess variant. Honestly, with just a little bit of rub and polish, this could be halfway released to like just r/chess variants, and they could use the shit out of this. Like, sure, it has Titans Battalion currently built in by default, but there's also a version of this tool. Notice how it's called CEO Bot. This is Chess Evolved Online, so it was originally made for that. Anyways, I love it. Ooh, back in the Analysis tab, there's other stuff that you need to know how to do. So if you right-click on a line, you can click Promote to Main Variation, which will set everything else that isn't that variation to be a sub-branch, or a sub-branch of a sub-branch, as in the case of this. So that will allow you to change things, and then you can also go in at any point and delete, and it completely trims the tree past that point. It's good if you accidentally capture your own piece for some reason with the wall. It happens sometimes, it's okay. Notably, it happens because if you have a piece selected and you click on another square, it will treat it as moving. So when you're trying to just deselect by clicking in the middle of everything or clicking in a random spot, you will actually end up moving the piece inadvertently. Now it's everything. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, have a wonderful day. you can find a link to all of the playtesting documents and to the playtesting Discord down below.